You build a baseball field in the middle of nowhere, and you sit here and you stare at nothing.
Not nothing.
And you turn your daughter into a damn space
Get your hands off her.
I'm trying to help you, damn it!
I pointed out to him, and why did all this happen? It's, and yeah, it definitely moves. It's definitely about a father and son relationship, and they don't make many movies like that for guys, and it's really emotional. It really is.
And
a lot of guys.
And finally, the guy said, "No, we want you to do it." So wherever I go, I'm asked to play, down on the field with the guys, and so it's a nice hall pass I get with baseball. So I'm appreciative of it.
Kevin Costner's Field of Dreams is one of those rare films that manages to blend whimsy, baseball, and deep emotional resonance all in one. If you've seen it, you know how it hits you right in the feels, especially at the end. But what does the ending actually mean? Let's break it down and dive into why this film still leaves people wiping away tears decades later. At the heart of Field of Dreams is Ray Kinsella's, Kevin Costner, relationship with his father. The whole film revolves around this deep emotional void he's been carrying ever since his father's death.
If you build, he will come.
The voice, "If you build it, he will come," leads Ray to build the baseball field in his cornfield. But it's not just a random act, it's a moment of faith, a moment of believing in the impossible, of stepping outside the boundaries of the everyday, and trusting that something bigger than himself will unfold. Initially, the field seems to be about bringing back Shoeless Joe Jackson, Ray Liotta, the infamous baseball player banned from the game for the Black Sox scandal in 1919. But as Ray's journey unfolds, we realize this quest is about much more than that. It's about Ray confronting his unresolved grief and regret over his relationship with his father. Their strained relationship was a result of years of silence, hurt, and misunderstandings, all stemming from Ray's rebellion against his father's traditional beliefs. When Ray finally sees the players emerge from the cornfield, he's not just reliving baseball history, he's engaging with his own personal history, with the ghosts of his past, and the hopes and dreams he never fully realized. But the movie's real magic happens when Ray realizes that the he in the voice wasn't Shoeless Joe. It was, in fact, his father, John Kinsella, played by Dwyer Brown. The twist is subtle yet profound. Ray didn't just build this field to honor a baseball legend, but to reconcile with the man who raised him. The connection between father and son is deeper than any national pastime could ever encapsulate. The magic of the field allows Ray to heal the wounds of his past and finally address the guilt that's haunted him for years. It's the chance for a second shot, one that most people never get in real life. The film does an extraordinary job of creating this sense of nostalgia and longing. Ray's quest to build the field seems like a fantasy at first. Who would just uproot their life to build a baseball diamond in the middle of nowhere? But that's where the genius lies. Well, he did. Field of Dreams isn't about logic, it's about following your heart and taking that leap of faith when everything seems uncertain, and that's the core theme of the movie. The idea that sometimes you have to make a big, risky decision to uncover truths that are buried beneath the surface of everyday life. As Ray continues his journey, he's not just bringing back the players of the past, he's resurrecting parts of himself that he buried long ago. He meets Terrence Mann, James Earl Jones, a reclusive writer who had once lamented the loss of the Brooklyn Dodgers, and through their shared journey, Ray comes to terms with the fact that his actions are not just about rectifying his past mistakes, they're about understanding the complexities of his own identity and what it means to truly reconcile with those we've wronged. The moment when Ray finally returns home to find his brother-in-law, Mark, Timothy Busfield, pressuring him to sell the farm is a wake-up call for him. Mark doesn't see the value in Ray's dream because he can't see the magic, the players, or the deeper meaning behind the field. All Mark sees is a farm that's sinking further and further into financial ruin. But Ray's refusal to sell is an act of defiance, not just against Mark, but against the conventional way of thinking. It's a declaration that some things in life are worth more than money. The field symbolizes the belief that there is more to life than financial stability or societal expectations. Sometimes the most precious things aren't tangible. They're the moments, the connections, and the dreams that give our lives meaning. This brings us to the pivotal moment when Ray's daughter, Karen, is nearly choked to death on a hot dog. This dramatic event forces Ray to confront just how far he's willing to go for this vision and how much he's invested in his faith in the field. When Archibald Moonlight Graham, Burt Lancaster, steps across across the foul line and transforms back into his older self to save her life, the metaphor becomes even clearer. This isn't just about saving a life, it's about redemption, it's about going beyond the self and doing something for others, for family, for legacy. Then comes the climactic scene where Ray gets the ultimate reward for his sacrifices. He meets his father not as the man he was when they last spoke, but as a young man, full of life and possibility. And in that moment, the floodgates open. Ray, finally free from the burden of regret and guilt, can now introduce his father to his family. They share that sacred moment, a catch. It's a simple act, but it's rich with meaning. The long unspoken words are finally said, not in grand speeches, but in the unspoken language of a game that Ray's father loved. They don't need to say much because everything is understood. The film's brilliance lies in its ability to blend the personal with the universal. Ray's journey is one of personal redemption, but it also taps into a larger theme, the quest for meaning in a world that often feels empty.
Universally, all guys, when we watch it, we tear up at one point, and we're ashamed to admit that we do that, but that is one of the few films that makes all men cry. What is the secret to making men cry in a movie?
I don't know. That movie is, I think, our generation's Wonderful Life. It's a wonderful life, and it happens, and it doesn't matter how often you watch that movie. When you ask your dad to have a kid, it seems to get people, and I'm just glad to have films that that's what's possible with film.
Baseball serves as the backdrop, but it's the emotional landscape of Ray's heart that the film truly explores. The field represents so much more than just a place for players to return. It's a place where broken relationships can be healed, where lost time can be recaptured, and where the hope of second chances is alive and well. When the players finally start to leave, Ray is left standing there, not with a sense of loss, but with a deep sense of fulfillment. His farm, once a symbol of his failed dreams, has now become a place of peace. The ending isn't about winning a game, it's about finding the answers to the questions that have haunted Ray for years. The farm, the field, the players, everything is a metaphor for the healing power of forgiveness, love, and faith. And it's not just a lesson for Ray, it's one for all of us. Life might not always go according to plan, but sometimes the greatest rewards come from the things we least expect. Field of Dreams is more than just a baseball movie. It's a movie about the human spirit, the power of faith, and the ties that bind us together. Ray Kinsella's leap of faith takes him to a place where he finds reconciliation, not just with his father, but with himself. It's a reminder that sometimes you've got to risk everything to find what truly matters, and if that means building a baseball field in the middle of a cornfield, well, then maybe it's worth it. The field may fade away, but the lessons learned from it will stay forever. That's the real magic of Field of Dreams. It doesn't just bring back baseball legends, it brings back something much more valuable, the chance to heal, to forgive, and to love again. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives like this. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Stay safe, stay happy, until next time.